Hi everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going back to back. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It doesn't cost you a thing and it helps me out so much. I'm not in this for fame. I just want to share the word of short track racing and doing it yourself. And engineering and fabricating and, like I said, DIY stuff. Like, you can do this yourself. Trust me. You're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, like I do all the time. But that's okay, because that's the only way you learn. And you watch me learn every single week. If you have some friends that might like it, tell them, please, by all means. Again, I'm not asking for no money from you, but I have this year, I've received a few gifts from people. And I just want to say thank you to all those people who have given me things and help, support, money, sponsorship, tires, whatever the case may be. I got a list of people on my car who have helped me along the way. And Steve, I got to give you a special shout out. I do appreciate it. He paid for the tire at Stafford. And it blows me away that somebody with so little subscribers in the grand scheme of things, trust me, I appreciate every single one of you, but that I have so much reach in short track racing, and I always get messages of encouragement and thanks all the time. And again, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. But anyway, you can see there's a big pile of stuff on my car, and I got some tires outside, and I'm tripping over tires currently. Well, I'm going back to Stafford this week, and I think I'm just going to make it one video because I need to go somewhere clear right now. I have to clean this garage out, but I'm going to go back to back because actually it's more like back to back to back because there's Thompson for the World Series directly after this weekend as well. So 3 weeks in a row of racing, which will be nice. I'll have some content for y'all. That's great. But I figured, like I said in the last episode, we paid to register the number. I paid for a license. We bought a tire. People gave me money. Let's go race. So I'm getting the car ready. I had the crew chief Joe here. Last night, we went over a whole bunch of stuff and we made a few changes. So I basically have to go through and set the car up again. And I still have a few days to do that. So luckily we got all the springs, what we want in there. I don't think we really have to turn too many bolts, but I still have to hook up a lot of stuff. And I got to do a little bit of fabricating work. I did not put the cameras on when I was spooning tires outside a minute ago, which is why I'm a little bit sweaty, because I have to do it all manually. I don't have a machine or anything. But anyway, I figure I'll get to work. I got to get the car up in the air, and I got to do a little bit of fabricating work because I got some broken stuff back here that cracked. I got to weld back up and figure out. And it's good to find before you hit the racetrack, like that fuel leak I had. So I'm glad we found it ahead of time. So either way, car's got to go in the air, and we got to start not only cleaning, because boy, did I leave a mess around here, but we got to get to fixing as well. It's about 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. At least I got a whole other day to do this because that took way too long. Like, that took way longer than I had hoped for to fix the stuff that we wanted to fix out back. And man, that was, if you could call something a chore, that's what it was. I still got to get the thing on the ground, but we're at the point right now where all I have to do is grab some fuel, put it on the ground. I also want to fix this thing that was leaking last week, so I'm probably going to remake a hose because I got plenty of steel braided hose for fuel lines and some of this wrapping and stuff. So if I don't find that hose that I made, which I don't know why it's not around, I made it for a spare and then never used it, and put it somewhere where I could find it, like the bottom of the toolbox, and now it's not there. So who knows? So once we do that, I think that's, let's see if that's on the list. Find, make, fuel hose, clearance, fuel pump. Yeah. Okay. And then I got to add a few things, like we got to do caster camber toe, scale. I don't think scaling is going to take too long. Caster camber toe is going to take forever. I'll have to pound that thing out of the body. I'm leery about even spray painting over it because of the last time I tried to paint this. It was not a good memory. Anyway, Jeff Aslan gave me some 2 race old tires that I threw on here, so thanks to him. Again, thanks to Steve for buying my other tire from last week and for his support. But I'm tired. I usually have to get up 6 a.m. for work, and 10 p.m. since I'm now over the age of 40 is a good bedtime for me. So I think I'm going to go inside and take a break. By the way, I forgot we made a spring shock change. We made all sorts of changes. I mean, we have a whole list of stuff to do here. So it's not as bad as last week, but you know, like I said, that caster camber toe is going to be a beast. So that's going to stink. So I'll be here tomorrow afternoon when I get home from work, and hopefully I'll look a lot better than this. Progress report. I turned 1 bolt, got the number we wanted, scale complete. So I got to make some fitment adjustments just to make sure I have clearance on everything. I still have to make that fuel line. I don't think that'll be a big deal. I'll show you how I do that. And I think all I have to do is just caster camber. So I think I'm going to shut the door, keep the mosquitoes out from biting me, which would be great. I'm probably going to miss my iRacing League again, but I have no guarantees that they're going to cancel tomorrow. So I might as well get to work on this, right? I don't want to be rushing if I wake up tomorrow morning and they say, hey, by the way, we are going to try to run tomorrow. And it's like, oh boy, I'm not done yet. So I don't want to take this not so seriously or more lackadaisically. I want to make sure it's done. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get... There's a lot that we have to do to the right front because we changed a lot. We didn't change the springs or parts or anything, but we changed a lot of the geometry, and now I got to reset everything. So ride heights didn't really change. I've turned a bolt like 4 times in one side of the car, and I got exactly what numbers we needed. So I'm going to work on that, and hopefully we should be pretty dang done. So that's not bad. Hopefully it won't be a 10 o'clock night. As is typical with everything I do, I'm having problems. Anyway, I've been trying to make a new piece from my fuel pump to my carburetor. I have all this extra line, and I just took the old fittings off of the other fuel line that I had. And I was just going to start making a new line. And then I remembered, I'm like, wait a minute. My spare hose, I gave it away to my brother. All right, so I guess I'm making a new line then. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making a new line. And I'll probably hit up Amazon for some push lock fittings and just make another spare just in case I need it. But I got to measure this, wrap it in some electrical tape, cut it, and then... Oh, this fitting's bent. Maybe bend this fitting back straight. It is an Earl's fitting. It does still work. Throw some WD on it. Tighten her down. But I just work with what I got, and that's all I can really do. So that's currently what I'm doing right now. It's kind of a pain, but get there. Got the new line on. That seems pretty good. I hope it doesn't leak or nothing. Guys, I don't hide anything from you. And I don't hide my screw-ups and how stupid I am. But you'll notice there's a radiator on the ground. Well, that's because I dropped a wrench. And punctured it like an idiot. So me being me, I'm not going to take and JB weld it, because who knows if we're actually going to race tomorrow or if it's going to rain. So I am going to just take these aluminum brazing rods and my smallest torch tip that I can possibly find, and hopefully I can fix that. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot. I don't like it. I did my best. I used the flame. It's really hard to do on these little tiny fins. So I basically just stuck the rod to it and tried to melt it and hopefully not blow the damn thing out. I have a spare radiator, but it's not as nice as this one. And I would have to change a whole hell of a lot in order to get it to work. So what I'm going to do now is probably pressure test this. Take some soapy water and spray that and try to block these off and pressurize it with a little burst of air. And if that works, then we'll throw it back in the car, but I still don't like it. Even though I layered it about 15 times over the top of it, it's still not great. If that fails, I'll just the only answer I had was very crude and very angry. So I'm not going to answer that. We'll just see if that works and throw it back in the car. See, this is the type of stuff that always happens. At the beginning of my night, I said, oh, all I have to do is roll it on to scales and check ride heights and set caster camber toe. That should be easy. No. Sway bar didn't fit, so I had to try to make that thing fit because I don't know why. Reasons. So that was a few hours with my torch. And as I'm putting the new fuel line on, that also took me half hour at least to build. My wrench slips, flies out of my hand, hits the radiator. Which I didn't need. You know, I don't need a radiator. I could just air cool the engine. And then I go to fix it, and the method I used to fix it wasn't the greatest because that's all I have that would work overnight. I mean, if I put JB weld on this thing, do you think it's going to dry by tomorrow? Nope. But that's saying we actually race tomorrow because the weather forecast does not look good. I mean, I'm looking forward to the day off, don't get me wrong, because I took it off from work anyway. But I got myself a Otis Spunkmeyer muffin and a carton of chocolate milk, and I'm going to drown my sorrows while I set this thing up to pressure test a radiator at 9 o'clock at night because I don't have any guarantee of cancellation tomorrow. I needed to flush the radiator anyway, but this was not the way I needed to do it. Oh, disregard my pressure testing vessels that I have kind of... We'll gloss over that. I did pull out the aluminum that I tried to put in because I hated it, and I went straight to the JB Weld. Because I've had good luck with it many times before, it looks kind of messy, but to be fair, it's really not as bad as you'd think. All you do is you pull the fins out of it very gently with a pair of needle nose pliers, which I don't have near me right now. Nope, there we go. Yeah, needle nose pliers. Just gently pull them out. Don't yank them. Don't twist them. Don't do nothing. Just very lightly. Clean it up as best you can. Then you take a wire brush. I used a steel one. I didn't use the brass one. I probably shouldn't have used steel because it's aluminum, but I'm not doing welding. I'm doing JB Weld, which is epoxy. Then you hit it with brake clean all over it. Clean the hell out of it after you scuff it. Oh, here's my brush right here. Scuff it, clean it with brake clean. Mix your JB Weld equal parts. And basically slap it on. So I'm just saying, you know what, we're cutting our losses here because I want this radiator to be okay in the long run. And I'm just going to essentially permanently fix it by just JB welding over the bad spots. Also, if you have a hole in one of these fins, your best bet's just to take the needle nose pliers and just kind of just pinch that hole shut as best you can without pinching the whole thing off. And just slap JB Weld over it because you don't want any sort of stuff to come out of it. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done that on this channel, and I really don't like doing it, but I did it when I first started racing to my mini stock, and it was holding in there when I sold the car years and years and years later. So, and it's on the back side. I can see it. I can keep an eye on it. When it finally does harden, I'll take a look at it and make sure it's okay. I'll probably have to pull the backup radiator out of the trailer. But for now, I'm going to get back to work on reassembly. It's closing in on 10 o'clock at night, and I still have not even done caster camber toe yet. This video is beginning to become my confessional. Can I be honest with everybody for a moment and just say that racing will humble you in more ways than you ever imagined, and it can be the most frustrating thing you've ever done in your life. But it can be rewarding too. I'm babbling. Anyway, we're approaching midnight. Yes, midnight. On a car where I should have been done 4 hours ago. Maybe more, maybe 6. Because all I was supposed to do was scale it. And when I did scale it, remember when I said I only turned one bolt and it was done? Yep, it was. Then the radiator got popped. Then the sway bar was bent, so I had to fix it. Then it didn't get fixed the first time, so I had to take it out, do it again. When you do that, you have to sit and let the thing cool all the way because you have to use a torch to fix it. You can't quench, you can't cool it off, you can't do anything. That's it. You have to sit and wait. So I sat and waited. Then I figured out we had the right front upper in upside down. Perfect. So I had to take that out. And I had to completely redo that. So, luckily, the car's scaled. The bodywork's done. Check that out. That's sweet. The rear is done. The tires are done. I got those size. I got some nice ones thanks to Jeff. Everything is done. I just got to put the radiator in, put some water in it, and then roll it on scales one more time, which I can do in, 30 seconds because all it's going to be is me double checking numbers and then checking to see if the bar is set right. That's about it. So that's not a big deal, but this is what happens. You think, oh, it'll be, this nice and easy, you know, we just got to run through the final things and then we're going to be done. No. This is the stuff that happens. It's literally now, as I check the clock, it is midnight. It's now Friday. And it's also raining out, so I guarantee you I spent all this time in the garage and it's going to rain. So, but all the work I did, I'm standing here looking at it, and I'm very happy with it. Every bolt is tight. I got to go through that upper control arm, though, just to make sure that the ball joint's tight. We don't want that coming out. I don't see a pin in it, so that's my indicator. Also, I got to kind of show you this as I fall down. I went to rescue the radiator with some JB Weld, and so I grabbed some off the shelf and I mixed it up and I put it on. But I didn't notice that I have two JB Welds. This is the good stuff, which you want to use. This is quick weld. This is the one that I did use because some idiot, me, duct taped it back together over the quick part. You don't want to use the quick weld because this is only good to 230 degrees. You don't want to chance that with a radiator. Regular JB Weld is literally epoxied steel. I'm not kidding. This stuff is amazing. And this is good for, I want to say it's like 500 and something degrees. I don't know, 550. So this radiator is pretty much screwed. I might as well just go grab the spare and buy a new one from Speedway Motors because, well, I don't want to chance that. Otherwise, I'm tired. I'm out of podcast episodes to listen to. And I'm not going to do myself any favors by getting exhausted before the day I have to race, even if we get rained out. I ain't doing myself no favors, but hey, at least I get the day off if we don't race. And next week will be very interesting if we have the final Stafford race and then the World Series literally back to back. I mean, I get it. Scheduling sucks, but at least we get to race, even if it is 2 days in a row. So we'll give it a shot. And no matter what, I'll see you tomorrow. Friday morning, it's raining, and they canceled. Which, to be honest with you, I'm really not that mad about after last night, considering the debacle that happened to me. So, it was just a comedy of ridiculous errors, and it's all the bad things that can happen that you don't think about in the garage. Just stupid stuff that slows you down and delays you and all sorts of dumb stuff, but oh well. I'm going to take another crack at repairing this radiator. I have a new one on order and it will be here before Friday, so no big deal there. I'll probably do exactly what I did to the last one and weld the cap shut. See how I did that? If you remember a previous video, I might link it wherever the heck it goes, but I did weld the cap shut on the last radiator because it's too low. Like, it sits too low in the car. So I put a water neck cap on. So I didn't want to have to deal with 2 radiator caps and 2 overflow hoses. So I'll probably end up doing that again because I actually have the correct aluminum wire. They say you've got to run like 035 and I only had 030 and it wasn't really filling in as well as it should, and I didn't have the settings correct, and I'm sure we'll figure it out. I'll take another couple whacks at testing and trying things before I do it again, but for now, I'll just get back to work on this. That's a complete mess, but regular JB weld is so much better to work with. It's a lot thicker, it holds its shape. I just kind of pulled everything out of here and just did every fin around it just because, even the one that was affected. The ones next to it didn't look okay, but I decided to just cover them up anyway, just to be safe. I'm gonna let this set for, I don't know, 3-4 days. Then I'll probably throw the pressure testing apparatus onto it, spray some soapy water, give it a little burst and see what it comes out to be. Hopefully it won't be so bad. Obviously, radiators are not air tanks. You know, your air tank is like 120 PSI. These probably see, if you have a heavy cap in it, what, 25 to 30 if you run a racing cap. So like I said, you just give her a quick little burst when you're trying to pressurize it. Obviously, you got to cap it off and, you know, put a little, whatever. You know how, you can look that stuff up. I'm not going to explain it right now because I'm exhausted from being awake at, you know, midnight last night. But anyway, I got another one on the way. I'll probably do exactly like I said I would earlier in the video, and this thing should be done, hopefully. Again, if you're at all worried about running JB weld to hold a radiator together, I've done it a million times, even on street cars. It lasts pretty much the life of the radiator, but you got to use the real stuff. You can't use the quick weld. It just does not work. So I'm back in the shop. I got my parts in and stuff, but my God, what a mess. I was busy filming another video, which you've probably already seen by now, but I had my truck over here and I was doing a whole bunch of work, and hey, there's my new radiator. My God, there's a lot of stuff in my way. So I'm gonna have to start cleaning up before I can even get to work, because I'm gonna take this radiator and probably do what I did to all the other ones and take the top off here and weld a piece over that so that it can fit. I don't have another radiator cap. That's why I don't really want to deal with 2 radiator caps, because what if this one is weaker than that one and it starts... I don't want to run a bunch of stuff. I'd really rather just cap it off, deal with that because this is lower, and not have to worry about it. And to be fair, it's not like I haven't done this before. I mean, I did it to my other 2 radiators and it didn't leak, so it seems to be fine. So I got another spool of thicker aluminum wire, which I think that's what they asked for. They wanted 035 wire. I think it has to do with how much it sends, like how much material it puts into the weld. I think that kind of matters with aluminum welding. I'm not too sure, especially with like spool guns and aluminum MIG welding and stuff. Again, not an expert, but I really want to learn as I go. So let me turn off the dehumidifier, put these springs that I left out away, and all sorts of crap, because I can't even walk through here right now, so don't need to dehumidify the outdoors. Right, back to work. Change of plans. After thinking it over in my head, I said, you know, I run a really heavy radiator cap. Why don't I just take that one, because it's like a 31-33. I'm just going to put a radiator cap on there. And thanks to the wonders of Amazon, I got a 27-29 coming. I'll just put the weaker one. I mean, it's not much weaker, but I'm going to put the weaker one at this point, put the heavier one over there so it saves me from cutting up a brand new radiator. Just put the other one here, and we'll just take an old fan off the shelf and stick that on. I tested it to make sure it works. It's just dusty, but it works. I gotta loom the wiring somewhere. But I'm just gonna zip tie this thing to the radiator, and we're just gonna send it. I think that having the heavier cap there will allow it to, if it does build pressure, this will be the first failure point. So that's my line of thinking. Saves me from welding or screwing up the weld or whatever the case is, because I really do need a lot more practice when it comes to aluminum welding. And I don't really like doing it on new radiators, especially when, I mean, I have made it work in the past, let's be fair. But for right now, I've had enough go wrong. I don't really want this to either. Radiator's back in. I'm looking for clamps because I got to clamp this little cap off here. Yeah, I'm capping it off because, like I said before, this is going to be the heavier cap. This is going to be the lighter cap because this one already has the overflow hose going to it. That one doesn't. So I figured I'd just cap that off. This one shouldn't open when that one opens. That should be your bypass. I'm just kind of going through and cleaning up as much as I possibly can. I still got to put water in it. I'm considering going next door to the Dollar General and buying some distilled water, about a couple gallons worth at least, or maybe just using tap water because it's all I got and it's free. So I'm just kind of debating that right now. And I mean, tap water would probably be fine. It's getting to the cooler months. You shouldn't worry about it too much. It's basically the same as regular water. You just drop it because it's going to cause some corrosion anyway. So I think I'll just do that. It's only going to be a few gallons. I didn't drain the block. So we'll fill this thing up, get it running as soon as I get to cleaning some overspray off of this because I think it's unsightly and I'd like to get rid of it. Honestly, I don't regret my decision to just throw a cap over there because, man, it's already done. I mean, I already even got the ductwork put back in. I got the fan hooked up. I'm going to be changing that radiator cap because it's only 22 to 24 pounds. I'm sure it would be fine, but, like, I'd really like to take a little bit more precautions because if you put a little bit heavier radiator cap on, you increase the boiling point of the engine. In my mind, it helps keep it cool. I don't think it really matters, to be fair, though. So I'm just going to go through and nut and bolt the car. It is only Tuesday, and I do actually want to do my iRacing League race tonight because I've skipped out on those guys like 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to do a lot of cleaning. I got a lot of stuff to sweep up. I've got a lot of stuff to just kind of organize. So I'm going to take an hour, probably listen to a podcast or two, clean the place up, and I think I'm just going to call it for tonight. But after all the idiot problems that I've had, I figured that's a good call. Instead of having to maybe do something and have something just go wrong, I'm going to try to decrease as many variables as I possibly can. And I don't know if I can even get all my stuff out to weld anyway. Actually, I can, but I'm not going to because I don't need to be overcomplicating things right now. And maybe in the future, if I want to do that, then that's fine. My spare radiator is done that way, so whatever. I bagged up and I put cardboard over the front of my other radiator that I put JB Weld on, just in case I need it as a spare or something. So that's ready to go. I'm going to put that in the trailer and take the spare that's in there out because these are both double pass radiators that I have, and they seem to help a lot with a crate motor, especially if you're not running a restrictor. So anyway, I'm just going to do my thing, and when it comes time to finish up whatever we got to do, like put it back on scales or start loading it, I will keep you posted. But until then, keep your eye on the weather. So cleaning up seems to be going pretty well, but pardon me, you're not allowed to create your little cocoon on my tire. I'll have to scrape him up and put him outside somewhere because no, we're not having this. You can see behind me the kind of progress that I've made. It is a couple days later, I'm guessing. I don't even know when the last time I worked on this thing was, but it's off scales. The trailer's ready. It's Thursday night. Stafford seems to think we're gonna race, so I gotta go with what they have. So I didn't bother throwing you up on time lapse to load a trailer. If you've been around long enough, you've seen me do that. You've seen me load a trailer plenty of times. It's just filler at this point, but yeah, we're trying a bunch of new stuff. New springs, well, new spring combos, shocks, different weight, different bar. We're trying a bunch of different stuff. So I also got a couple of newer tires from a fellow competitor, Jeff Aslan, who also is a supporter of the channel, and I appreciate greatly. He's the one who put this windshield in the car. So again, I appreciate everybody, especially those of you who actually have some kind of investment in my channel, which is really cool. So I really can't run into them when I'm out there. But anyway, I got a couple more things to load up. Probably load up my nuts and bolts and stuff, just because you never know when you need them. And a couple pairs of these, because I've been wearing them just everywhere now because my eyes have been getting blurry from all the dust that I've been in. So I'm going to try to dust the car off. We're going to get it loaded up, and I will hopefully see you at the track. Okay, we are loaded up for Stafford. Tomorrow, hopefully it goes off. I really hope the rain goes away. I'm sick of dealing with it right now. But as you can see, I got the late model back in the shop, nice and safe, clean. Dehumidifier is running. It's on jack stands. It's out of the weather. That's all I can ask for, is that everything in my equipment is safe. Still no body on it. I still don't know what to do with this thing. But I'm hearing rumors that Thompson might be back next year. That's tough. That's tough because then I have kind of an opportunity to race it. That's tough. I mean, I got a great deal on it. It's got all new parts. Engine's fresh. I even have a seat belts and a window net for this thing. I have a body for it. I could have this car ready by December for next year. The only trouble is if I do run it part-time at Thompson, just to say that I did it, I guess, how much more would it be? You know, it would probably be more expensive. And I already said I can only really have one race car. So I'm gonna stick to my promise and say I only can own one race car, and we're gonna make that decision by year's end. So if anybody wants to trade me a turnkey tube street stock for this thing, yes, it does have a body. I have a whole body. I even have the radiator ducting. The only thing I don't have is a front bumper. That's it. It's got a rear bumper. It runs and drives. I have, you know, I've showed you in the past what I have for the thing. I've got the race shocks. These are not them. This is just the tool around and put it in the trailer shocks, trust me. I'll even throw the jack stands in. I'll even throw the lead in. Just somebody trade me so I don't make a bad decision here like I already did. Anyway, unless somebody wants to buy it outright, then feel free to contact me. But I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully the rain, I said rain, but hopefully the weather stays away. It's race day. I'm just getting gas. I really need a better pump for this because this is kind of weird. The second I leave the house. Literally the second I leave. You're killing me, weather. You're killing me. This is also the trouble of having only 2 diesel pumps on the side of your local gas station. You got 2 at the pump, that guy waiting, now I'm waiting. No, at least I got a little bit of time before I gotta get there. Practice report. The changes we made definitely feel different. Like they feel like whatever we were lacking before is a little better. So obviously we're still not fast enough to be one of the top 2 guys or contenders or anything yet, but we're inching closer on it, and we're only at the track. I mean, we're learning piece by piece here. This is only like my 5th or 6th time racing here in 4 years, so it's not too bad yet. Car's getting more and more stable. I probably got to bleed the brakes when I get back home, but we're fighting some stagger and tire issues because their tires are blowing up on us and really just kind of making life difficult for the handling, but I think we're kind of getting there. And if I could just get the car to handle good in traffic, I think we'll be right there, because race pace is a lot different than practice pace. So hopefully we can get it running good in practice. So we'll see how it goes in the heat race. We had a lot for him this time. I'll tell you what, we were really good. I think we can improve on that quite a bit. I'll see you around. It's the next morning, as you can probably tell by my face. It's pretty early too, but I just wanted to come in the garage and decompress because I got the late model nice and safe in here. Didn't have time to really switch over. I made the decision to not race the World Series. It would be way too much work. I'd have to be there by right now. So I would have come home last night, had to play car roulette again, had the car back in here, switching stuff over, would not have gone to sleep, and then have gone directly to Thompson to go sit in the rain all day. So I didn't bother. But anyway, the race last night, oh man, it was a long one, as you can tell by my lack of sleep. And because, man, they just couldn't stop wrecking behind us and around me. But like, that's racing. I mean, it happens, you know. It's just, you have those nights sometimes. My car is incredibly clean after all of that, all things considered. I only got like a donut on my right rear, but pretty good considering what other people went through. But anyway, it was really warm in the car, I'll tell you that. When you're sitting there forever and you got headers directly under your feet, I mean, I have heat shielding underneath my feet and legs and stuff, but oh man, it was starting to soak through, and the cabin was starting to get hot. My legs were getting hot, my feet were getting hot. Just, it was really getting warm in there. But man, what an improvement from the last time we were there. I mean, cars that were passing me, or at least up my rear end to try to pass me last race, I was putting the front bumper to get by them. I mean, what an improvement. I mean, we were really, really good. We weren't there yet. Obviously, we're not there yet. We're still a couple tenths off, and there's a few spots we can pick up a couple tenths. So if we can pick up 2 tenths in the race, we're pretty good. And I think we can pick up at least 1 tenth per corner. So, hey, that's not bad for 2 races in on this car at Stafford. So I think we're going to spend a lot more time at Stafford upcoming next year, because that, I hate to say it, but that was probably the last race of the season. I mean, there's nothing else scheduled. If I went to Thompson, I'd probably get one more, but I'm tired. I'm really tired. And I honestly am at the point in my life where racing is fun, but I'd really rather spend time with my family right now, and instead of thrashing and trying to put a car together to go race back-to-back days. And you know, unless I had money, I would then I would do it, but right now I just don't, and I don't feel like it. You know, I want to enjoy my life. I want to have some fun. I want to take my family out to dinner and just have a nice weekend. I got a 3-day weekend. So anyway, thank you all so much for all your support, all your time, all your energy, all your efforts, just in being fans of the channel and of me, and all the support and other stuff that you give me. And I can't tell you how much it actually means to me. It's pretty awesome. I gotta be honest with you. But yeah, we're making great strides forward, and I'm working a lot of stuff behind the scenes to try to make the race team better, and to try to focus more on maybe Stafford. I think that might be the new challenge for me. I mean, I've won 5 races at Thompson. If you look over my shoulder, well, you can't really see it, but if you look up here, you'll see all the podium points finish trophies that I have, and there are 3 there, but there's 2 missing. So I have 5 podium points finishes at Thompson, and I just never won that title. But I think our new challenge is going to have to be Stafford, because I like the place. It's just a lovely place to be, and I think we seem to have some speed, so I'm going to give it another shot, and maybe next year we can put something together that I can maybe run full time. I don't know yet. Pick and choose races. Thompson might be back. Again, I don't know how everything's going to shake out, but stay tuned to the channel to find out what I do next. And I have a lot of other projects on the burner that I really would like to get going. I don't know how much we're going to see this right now, because again, I'm working a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, and we'll see what happens. But I got a lot of time to get racing together and make some plans. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I apologize for the long-winded nature of this, but I just felt like I had to get all that out there. Please subscribe if you have not already, and please tell your friends if you think they'd enjoy this type of content. Maybe fabrication, mechanics, engineering, hackery, idiocy, whatever the case may be. But again, thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate it, and until next time.